This is Archie Rose in the heart of Sydney, a boutique distillery. We're here today to work with Will to blend our own gin and vodka for ICC Sydney. Thanks for having us, Will.
No worries.
So tell me a little bit about Archie Rose, how it started.
Well, I mean, it all started a couple of years ago, really. I mean, I'd always had this idea of opening a distillery, and to cut a long story short, I wasn't happy doing what I was doing, which was sort of a corporate gig in the city, and did a bit of travel. Yeah, but I did a bit of travel, took some time off, and found myself in New York at just the same sort of time that the first distilleries were popping up in Brooklyn since Prohibition, and saw what was going on there, and then sort of looked back at Sydney and thought, well, like New York, we've got great craft brewers making great beer, we've got a great bar scene that's getting better and better, and we've got this amazing history in distillation, I mean, New York, obviously Prohibition, and Sydney more rum. But for me, I couldn't understand why there wasn't, a modern distillery in Sydney.
A traditional gin, a basic gin, what are the components of it?
Well, the defining component is juniper. So if there's no juniper berry distillate in the gin, it's a vodka, essentially. If you want to get technical, I guess gin is really a juniper flavoured vodka. It's
pretty exciting for me being a chef and being able to play with botanicals of this nature, because my thought process is it's almost like food as well. So, you can actually put those background notes into food like you would with gin, vodka or whiskey or whatever you like. So I'm actually really excited to get cracking and have a go at some of this botanical mixing with the gin.
Yeah, it'll be good, So as far as botanicals go, in a botanical vodka and particularly a gin, they're what's going to dictate your whole flavour profile.
Right.
So let's talk about a gin. The backbone of any gin is juniper, that's what defines it as a gin. And then there's a few roots and spices that are quite traditional. So things like your coriander seed, angelica root, orris root, cassia bark, things like that. But then beyond that, when you start getting into some of the sort of higher notes, the citrus and the fresher herbs, it's really up to you as to where you go with it.
I think you can't go past, as you've just explained, the juniper. You need to have the juniper in there for sure.
Yeah.
But having that chef background, I really like angelica root.
Yeah.
Angelica, is it? Angelica, yeah. So that's something I'd really like to put in there as well, and I think it marries food and spirits together very well.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit of a traditionalist as well, so I like to keep some of a lot of the traditional flavours in there as well. But with a little bit of maybe some river mint or some cassia bark as well. So
yeah,
definitely open to making some different flavours and playing around with a few things. It's nice and fresh. I mean, I think the flavour that will come out will be nice and fresh and vibrant. That's probably what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And it's interesting because when you go back to the production as well, you'll find that those sort of fresher botanicals, that sort of cleanness and crispness of flavour is what's actually developed in the still. So we'll infuse the botanicals in different locations in the still depending on what flavour we want to get out. So the roots, angelica root for example, that'll be macerated directly in the spirit because it's sort of a bigger, bolder, richer flavour. Whereas the lighter stuff like the river mints, that'll be up in the Carter head point where it's just vapour infusion, a little gentler. You sort of tend to get a bit more of the sweetness and the fresher notes out.
Well, thanks for all your knowledge that you imparted on me. I'm really looking forward to serving our gin at ICC Sydney shortly.
Sounds good, I'll be there.
Thank you.